As millions of Americans struggle to make ends meet during the pandemic, we're learning more about challenges the government faces to deliver federal aid on time. An overwhelming number of applications to federal benefit programs led to payment delays near the end of the Trump administration. And those problems appear to be persisting under President Biden. According to a report by the Washington Post, despite vowing to deliver a more equal economic recovery, one of the administration's, quote, biggest challenges is getting money into the hands of people who are still jobless or underemployed. Heather Long wrote that article. She's an economics correspondent for the Washington Post and joins me now. Hi there, Heather. Welcome. So Congress has approved trillions of dollars in federal aid. Why is it not getting to the people it's intended to help?
Well, a big part of the issue is we are still operating with these really antiquated government computer systems that are operating on COBOL and other programs from the 70s and 80s. Basically, you get what you pay for. We haven't been investing in this technology, and now it's letting us down. Same thing with staffing levels. We've been cutting the number of people who work at places like the Internal Revenue Service, which is in charge of getting these stimulus checks out right now, and in state unemployment offices, which have really been on the front lines of trying to provide these weekly checks and weekly aid to people who are jobless right now. So that's why we continue to see these problems even a year into this pandemic.
Well, you report that some 30 million Americans who are eligible have not yet received their $1,400 stimulus checks. What's the explanation they're being given, and when might they actually get those checks?
That's right. There was another glitch in the system where the Social Security Administration did not deliver the information about these 30 million some individuals to the IRS. So basically, one hand of government didn't talk to the other hand. This had been a seamless process in December when that second stimulus payment went out, the $600 payments. But for whatever reason, in March, it fell through the cracks and there was a delay. And that's how we ended up with millions of people still waiting. The Biden administration did announce that yesterday, on Wednesday, they did deliver quite a number of those payments. Did go out, but they're still now waiting for information from the Veterans Administration. So these are U.S. veterans who are still waiting for their $1,400 payments. The Treasury just said those wouldn't go out till April 14th.
April 14th. You touched on this a moment ago, Heather. You report the IRS has been hit with budget and staff reductions. With tax day being delayed a month, what can we expect this filing season?
Yes, it's certainly been pretty chaotic so far. We've been reporting on a lot of people have had their returns and particularly their refunds. People really wait for these refunds. It helps to pay their rent or pay their car payments or student loans. And those there's been a real delay in getting refunds out of the IRS. There's currently a backlog of close to 10 million returns. These are 2020 returns. Many people, particularly low-income people who filed right away, right when things opened around February 12th, still have not seen their refund because their return has been sent for extra review. And then there's people who are still waiting for their 2019 return, particularly if you filed a paper return. That has not been processed yet. Huge backlog in processing paper returns. So this might all seem kind of bureaucratic, but it really influences people's lives and affects them. They're not getting not only their refund, but if you don't have a 2019 return on file at the IRS, you don't qualify for a $1,400 stimulus check. So I'm getting emails from urgent families saying, I tried to do the right thing. I turned in my tax return on time last year, and it's the IRS that is preventing me from getting this stimulus payment because they won't process my return.
It really just sounds like such a domino effect, Heather. The December and March stimulus packages set aside $45 billion to help people who are behind on rent. What's going on with that money?
This is going to be the real test for the Biden administration, and it illustrates and underscores why we know there's so much need. The latest data tell us 1 in 7 renters, so over 8 million renters, are still behind on rent at the end of March. So this is an ongoing problem. Obviously, the landlords also want to get paid. They're not getting paid right now. And there has been this money allotted by Congress, but part of the problem is it has to go from the U.S. Treasury, and all of these funds have to go out to state and local governments, who then have to turn around, set up their own programs and their own protocols and their own technology systems and computing and application processes, and then disperse the money. Some states and cities are doing a much better job of that than others. I talked to a woman in Texas, for instance, Waco, Texas, as who's mentioned in the article, and she's still waiting. She applied kind of early March, thought she had done everything. She has had eviction notices posted on her door. She's sort of exactly who we want to be helping, and yet she has not received any aid almost a month later.
And, you know, in our final minute here, Heather, is there a clear solution to what seems to be a series of administrative problems here?
The best solution is we need to take the time to invest money to improve our technology systems. And the good news is the stimulus package that was passed in March does include additional funding for state unemployment offices and for the IRS, nearly $2 billion to upgrade the IRS systems and hire more people. But it can't be done overnight. Can we get it done by the summer when more programs and payments are supposed to get out? That's the big question.
Yeah, and as we see in the piece that you wrote, Heather, so many Americans are really on that precipice at this moment, waiting for that aid to come through. Heather Long for us. Heather, always good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks very much.